Hi, folks. John Adamson, the Rehab and Documentation Guru, and I am encouraging you today to know when to fold them. Of course, Kenny Rogers recently passed away, unfortunately, but know when to fold them, of course, would be a line from Kenny Rogers. There are patients you're going to see where you have to take a step back and go, right now, there's nothing I'm going to do for this patient. And I saw a patient today like that. I started to make actually this video a little bit ago, and I realized I was giving too much patient detail, and I was getting a little concerned of HIPAA. But let me just explain the basics of what was going on with this patient. Heart failure, diabetes, and significant pain in her body. Living at home with her husband. Husband has to work. She's got a lot going on with her right now, including 3+ edema, pitting, bilateral, all the way up to her abdomen. She's also having some problems with the pain being so bad that she's literally paced the floor and not gotten any sleep for 2 days. At that point, you realize you're just, as a therapist, what are you going to do? The pain that she had did not seem to be anything that I could make a true impact on therapy-wise. It seemed to be of an origin I wasn't quite sure, actually, to tell you. I was concerned that the edema was contributing to it. Her pressure was high, but she hadn't taken her meds. It wasn't like terribly high. Her heart rate was fine. It was normal and it was steady. Her respirations were not excessive, but she was very anxious, and so she was respirating a little bit fast. And I just had to tell her, I think you need to go to the hospital. I don't want to go to the hospital because that virus. And I'm like, I totally get that. But and she had gained 6 to 7 pounds in 3 days. I said, here's what you've gained in 3 days. This is what I'm seeing. I'm really concerned about you. Your husband's supposed to go to work. You should not be left alone. And she just wasn't having it. And at that point, I realized my recommendations were not going to be heeded by her. So call was made to nursing, call was made to the doctor's office, and we had to leave it like that. Her mindset was that she was going to go see her primary, which I tried to explain to her that that's going to put her at much risk probably as just going to the hospital. Plus, she's not going to get in immediately to see her primary. Plus, it's kind of an emergent situation. So you do have to know when to fold them. And this goes back to the days prior to PPS, prior to PDPM or PDGM, when maybe you were pushed for volume of visits or volume of time with your patients. And you would be encouraged maybe to see patients even in the midst of some kind of medical crisis. And I've heard this from a lot of therapists across the nation where they saw a patient and they're like, this patient should be on hospice, they should be in the hospital, and yet I'm being asked to see this patient for so much therapy. And those are the times when you gotta say professionally, I can't ethically do this. And I wasn't pushed, by the way. So I just want to make that clear. My boss would stand behind me 100%, thankfully. So when I got done with her, I realized there's no therapy need at this time because physiologically, she's not in a place where she can benefit from me. Are there some things I can do maybe to recommend environmental changes for her? Yeah, but she wasn't listening to a thing. And with her husband going out of the house for work, it's just not a safe environment. So, anyway, as a therapist, know when to fold them. Look at your patient and say, and determine whether or not the medical status of your patient prohibits improvement of impairments, so like strength, balance, coordination, proprioception, etc. Whether their status prohibits compensation training, and this lady wasn't in a mindset to learn. I mean, she'd been without sleep for 2 days, and psychologically, she's not in a good place. And then environmental adaptations, there's nothing environmental that I could have done right then and there to keep her safe, that she's going to follow, that her husband can put into place. And so I got to cut my losses and say, I'm sorry, I'm referring you back to medical for this time. And so I believe I knew when to fold them. Anyway, John Adamson, the Rehab and Documentation Guru. During this time about with the COVID-19 virus, I just want to encourage you. I've been tracking Facebook groups with therapists, and it's truly heart-wrenching some of the losses that people have faced. I've lost a lot of money because of courses being canceled on me, but I do still have my regular job, and my wife and I and our 12 children have been blessed. We've been able to keep food on the table. I'm behind on a couple bills, but it's not terrible. I'm not going to lose my house at this point. But some of you are facing those discouraging times right now. And with that said, I can tell you personally, and this is just coming from me, that the only thing that's keeping me going right now is my faith in Jesus Christ. You at this time may be facing dire circumstances. I don't know what you're going through. I've heard from so many people that have lost jobs, had significant cuts in hours, can't make hours to meet benefits. I mean, it just goes on and on. And so I am, whether you know it or not, I am praying for you. And my family and I are praying regularly that this COVID-19 virus will work its way through, and that we'll see the light at the end of the tunnel, and jobs will come back, and people be able to do the basics, feed their family, get the health care they need. But anyway, I am praying for you and hoping you're staying strong. Anyway, take care. God bless. Hug the ones that you are with and love them. But just remember social distancing. I got to put that in. Anyway, take care. Bye.